Three Dirty Dwarves on the Sega Saturn is getting pretty rare and pricey at the same time. But is it any good? Let's have a little look.
Oh no! Get a hold of yourself!
One game on the Sega Saturn that a lot may have forgotten about is Three Dirty Dwarves. Some of you may never have heard of this, and to be honest, I only knew about it from the Sega Flash demo disc that I used to get from magazines. But is Three Dirty Dwarves a Goliath-sized game, or is it just a small-time loser? Some kids that have been genetically engineered are held at a military base where they'll be used for manufacturing weapons. They play a role-playing game where they open a portal for 3 heroic dwarves to save them, but it's not just the dwarves that come through, it's a whole army of monsters. As the dwarves' weaponry burns up on entry to the atmosphere, they land in a sports shop where they find what they can to use as weapons. You play as all 3 dwarves, a bit like Tiny Toons, where you control one but have the other 2 following. Each character has a different weapon. Greg has a baseball bat, and his short range attack is a swing from his bat. His long range attack has him pitching a ball and hitting it. Taconic has a bowling ball which he uses for a short and long range attacks. And Korthag uses the butt of his shotgun for short range attacks and fires the gun for long range attacks. Each dwarf has 2 special attacks which can be used with either the X or Y buttons, and the Z button can be used for a morph dwarf, which combines all 3 dwarves into one giant dwarf that will deal severe damage to all enemies. On screen you have skulls that represent your special meter. Using the X button special will use 1 skull, using Y button special will use 2 skulls, and using Morph Dwarf will use 5 skulls. The levels are side-scrolling with manoeuvrability up and down just over a third of the screen. You can hit enemies in the background by aiming that direction and using a long-range attack, smash open crates or bins to find items. You technically only have 3 hits before you are out. This works on a turn-based system, where if you get hit, you get knocked out. You then switch to the next available dwarf. You can revive your downed character by hitting them. You can also switch on the fly by using the L and R buttons. Press these 5 times quickly and they'll start brawling, which if an enemy comes into contact with you, then they get knocked down. But is this game any good? It is good. And this is the sort of game the Saturn was made for. It's a simple 2D side-scrolling beat 'em up with an original idea. It has the occasional rotation areas like the boss battle, and it doesn't need much more than that. Rather than choosing one character like most other games like this, you play all at once, and it may seem strange to begin with, but it's not hard to get used to. Each character has its own personality, and they are comical in their own way. The graphics are excellent with its cartoon style and nice frames of animation, except the intro cartoon which looks a bit crappy, but it was the 90s and that sort of thing looked good for the time. Unfortunately, the power supply on my Saturn went pop whilst recording this, so I didn't get very far in the game. However, from what I did manage to play, I really enjoyed what I got from it. There isn't much you can compare this to, but if you want something completely different, then you'll probably enjoy this. That's if you have the money, or a terror onion, which is just as pricey. Either way, it's a winner. Thanks for watching. If for some strange reason you like my videos, please consider subscribing so I don't feel so unpopular. Do you know what I mean?